started to record this just a while back, and this is probably the third version of it. Most of the reason that updates have been slow on the website, just here on YouTube, has been busy. A bunch of murals, a bunch of other projects that have come up, and also just trying to prepare myself for what I want to do in 2025. Aside from that, there's also been the normal sort of thing that happens, life in general. I've been trying to find a way to find a balance between the two. Mental health has been pretty good, pretty great for the most part. There's always low pitches that happen here and there, and the best I can do is just try and weather them and get through them the best way that I possibly can. Sometimes it's not easy. If I'm being completely frank, and let me just fix the camera here just a little bit. If I'm being a little frank, some of it has been sort of the ups and downs, but which is the sort of thing that I always deal with, which is, am I good enough to do other shows? What other shows can I do? Where am I heading with my career, and that sort of thing. But when you mix in other things too, parents getting older, one of them having dementia, things like that, you start going into a whole bunch of other stuff that gets really hard to deal with. And it throws a lot of stuff out there, and not just, dealing with it, but how it affects the work I want to create, how much work I can do, and where my responsibilities lie. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm a cross zone, like a fork in the road, really. And it's been really challenging to understand for myself where I plan on going with this. Not really sure where things are going to head, but I'm hoping that I can make the best decision I possibly can along the way. The good thing has been with, friends and family, it's been a lot easier to deal with. And honestly, I think the best I can do is just hope for the best, make the best decisions in the moment, and keep moving forward. One of the coolest things I did get a chance to do was, there's a drive-in theater here in town. Now, this was nothing having to do with my art, but it was a really good memory that I'd like to share with you guys. The very first time I ever went to go see one of the movies that I really loved, that was a huge inspiration to me, was Jurassic Park, and I saw that in a drive-in theater. Now, I didn't know this until I stumbled back through some of my old notes and journals, which is one of the reasons why I love doing these things and writing stuff down. I was able to figure out that I did go to the Twin Drive-In in Independence, Missouri when I first saw Jurassic Park. And that drive-in recently closed. In fact, I think they're going to be taking the big sign that's outside and putting it either in a museum or restoring it. I'm not really sure how that's going. But on the final night, I saw two things. Goonies for the very first time, which was kind of a trip and different, especially as an older dude to watch that film. It's very confusing, but still kind of cool. And then the last movie for the night out of the two was Jurassic Park. And it took me back to being a kid all over again. In fact, the last couple of days have been a lot of things like that. I've had reminders of where I've been and where I am now and where I want to be. And it is really a good thing for me. I know it is, because I've had so much self-doubt for quite a few months on if I even wanted to stay as an artist or what. I've been beleaguered by a lot of that. But thankfully, just from recent shows I've done and talking to people, there's a lot of change in the air. There's a lot of things going on. And without getting too specific, it makes it challenging for a lot of people to deal with. And it can be scary. It can be tumultuous. It can be so many things that can cause us inner turmoil. And along that way, I've had to figure out if there's a place for making art. And then the last thing I'll talk about was, I managed to pick up a new publication that I'll be doing a small review on from my buddy Josh Cotter. And after reading that, it kind of set me in a really good way of thinking as far as how I was going about things and what I think I should be doing in life. It inspires me when I will know other artists that are doing the best they possibly can to create and do things that, not only speak how they feel internally, but also push it into an area where they're actively becoming modern day, I would almost say poets, but it's so much more than that. They're really becoming the voice of where we are right now. And I forget that as a visual artist, as a writer, as a performer per se, even on camera, the things that I will record and that I'll create are indicative of this moment in time. And that is more important than ever, especially with the weird ass shit like AI happening and anybody and everybody trying to make a fast buck on the cheapest, quickest, most just crappiest stuff out there. It means something. And that goes for every single person out there watching this video, however many of you, the dozen that might. I think that's enough for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up and get some stuff here taken care of. I actually put in for Gen Con. Fingers crossed, maybe I'll get to that show. Who knows? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next journal update.